seconds
What's up,
remaining.
guys? This is Mike Luris, going to be casting the Grand Finals of League of Dota Season 2, Week
5
2,
seconds
Bag of
remaining.
Chips and Pepperoni, just going to be calling them CBP and Gamesboard. Alongside me, it is Nist. How are you doing?
Yep, I'm back. We're good. I had some fun matches. I don't know about you. Finally got to go through a full best of 3. I think that's the first time I've ever seen a best of 3 in the semifinals that I've casted for this. So
I actually usually get the full 3. Like, it was only last time it was a 2-0, and that was like with the disqualification as well. So
yeah. Nope, I usually get a full best of 2s for mine, basically. That's always fun. And then I'm sitting there for like half an hour waiting for your matches to be over with.
10 seconds.
well,
10
it'll
seconds
I'm sure go
remaining.
either way, or you have to pick your semifinals better.
Yeah, I guess I just picked the wrong semifinals.
Yeah, you just got to know which semifinal to pick.
Yep. I mean, wow.
Reserve time.
All right,
But,
so we got a couple bans on the board right now. Timbersaw, OD, pretty standard there. Viper, a little bit, a little bit questionable, along with Venomancers. A lot of poison being banned out by Bag of Chips, though.
Well,
They still
I
do see some
understand it.
bans.
I do understand it. I
Dire
don't know
team
if they could have possibly watched even a little bit of the matches that were happening, if they maybe
Radiant
looked at
team pick.
the replays really quickly in terms of the picking. But Gamesboard do really love their Viper pickup. They love to be able to pick that hero up. They also love the Venomancer a ton. Both those heroes, I believe, showed up. Both games that they were available, Gamesboard did pick them up. So that's always fun when that happens.
All right, yeah, they were still playing by the time, unless they had like someone else
Radiant
watching. They told them,
team
which is
banned.
always a possibility. So
Well, you can also always just go into the tournament itself and just check the overview of the games really quickly and see what heroes were picked up. It's always.
I
always
guess that's
fun.
true.
So,
All right. So we got Crystal Maiden as well as Invoker being picked up from the Gamesboard side, and Invoker
10
last
seconds
game
remaining.
went for a balanced build, killed me inside, but CM Invoker
5
is
seconds
a pretty
remaining.
good setup. I mean, Frostbite and Sunstrike is a pretty solid combination to get a lot of burst damage, a lot of pure damage on people like Bristleback and Alchemist who are on the tanky side. It could be a pretty good way of opening your draft to at least to set up some kills.
Radiant
Yeah, it's also
team
really great to be able
banned.
to have the Crystal Maiden with the Invoker, because in the early game, if Invoker really plays aggressively with his spells, especially if he gets an early level in Wex to help to go with the usual Quas Exhort, but just please don't go for an all-around Jack-of-all-trades, because then become a Jack-of-all-trades that just can't do anything at all.
10 seconds
But
remaining.
if you have the mana regeneration from the Crystal Maiden, it really helps the Invoker to be able to just spam out
5
more spells. If you can
seconds
get Cold
remaining.
Snap off every single time it's off cooldown, everything like that, you can dominate a lane against almost anybody as
Reserve
Invoker,
time.
which usually doesn't happen for that hero.
Oh, and let me just ask something real quick. Is this pre-patch or post-patch, like the tournament version? So Forge Spirits are weaker, Wex
I'm not 100%
EMP
sure.
is stronger?
I think it is the I believe it's the current patch though.
Alright, so it's the
fairly
current
certain
patch.
it is.
So the Forge Spirits are weaker, EMP
Yeah.
is stronger. Okay.
Yep.
So
Although whoever goes Wex, honestly.
I like playing Wex just because I like moving really fast, but it's generally not as good as being able to kill things.
Yeah, I just feel as though, like, whenever I play Invoker, I prefer to go for the Quas Exhort build. I feel like it's just an all-around better build, and I think that through competitive Dota, it's just shown itself over and over again. It's just an extremely strong build in terms of just being able to suddenly be that hard or semi-carry in the middle lane that you love, that a lot of teams love from, like, the Storm Spirit, the Queen of Pain, the Templar Assassin, heroes like that they love to be able to run there.
10 seconds.
And also, if you run a
10
Wex
seconds
Invoker,
remaining.
you have to, if you're going to be contributing to the team, you have to actually
5
move out of the
seconds
lane,
remaining.
whereas Exort Invoker can contribute to the team and sit in the lane and get farms. So you
Yeah.
kind of get the best of both
Dire
worlds.
team
It does require a certain amount of team comp, like you need the right
Radiant
heroes to set
team
up for your Sunstrike, but that's not really a huge issue most of the time.
Yeah, especially when you now have a Nature's Prophet who is the king of you're going to stay in one spot for a while.
Oh yeah.
With his good old trees, but I do like the Nature's Prophet pickup. I like that they're seeing the Alchemist here. I think they're assuming that it's going to be most likely a carry Alchemist here, which we don't see all that much more, often anymore. But I feel like I do like the Nature's Prophet pick just because of his ability to split push, which is the name of the game with him.
Yeah, Alchemist last game was played by Tabo, the support player, and Nick Sasson as the pickup for Bag of Chips was actually played as off lane, and
Ooh.
Melee. Holy
Dire
crap,
team
Melee.
banned.
Melee is OP, man. That's what we're learning. 3 strength, 1 agility Melee. We got this. Especially when you're going against something like a Weaver, I guess, because Weaver, he's not mobile or anything. I mean, what can you say?
Yo, you put amplified damage on him, and then you could see
10
him.
seconds
Yeah.
remaining.
So
Even
Shikuchi.
then, it's just Sakuchi able to just kite people around in fights.
5
But yeah,
seconds
Yeah,
remaining.
they technically do have stuns for Weaver, but like you could throw the Alchemist stun,
Reserve
Weaver's a
time.
million miles away by the time it lands.
Yeah.
You can't get close to Slaughter. It's just not gonna happen. You can't get
And then
close for an
Assassins
impale.
can't-
You can't actually
Radiant
target it now,
team
so if he's
ban.
moving at max move speed, it's hard to actually hit it, really.
Oh, it's impossible.
Yeah. But, except if you're one of those people that every single time gets those 4-man impales, and I always face them at every one of my pubs. None of my pubs can ever hit Nyx assassin stuns, but all the other pubs that I face can hit 9-man impales when there's 5 people.
It's just one of those heroes.
Yep.
All right,
Every
so
time.
Dire
bag of
team
chips.
pick.
How do you think they're gonna lane this? Because I saw Nyx assassin off lane last game. I think with this you just got to go bristleback off lane.
I
Alchemist
think it
mid?
depends on what. It really is going to depend on what Gamesboard picks up here as their next hero, because it looks like it's going to be a Weaver carry here with the Invoker in the middle lane. Crystal Maiden going to be supporting them. Nature's Prophet in the off lane, and I feel like you could put Bristleback in the off lane in this situation and run a Nyx, Slardar, Alchemist
10
tri-lane
seconds
back from
remaining.
them. Even aggressive would be possible, but it would actually be really hard to do that
5
now that I think about it with
seconds
Weaver and
remaining.
Crystal Maiden in the lane. But
Yeah. Crystal
The
Maiden
tank-
probably not gonna have a fun time with that, but
yeah,
you can't kill the
Reserve time.
Weaver. And
Yeah.
who's still in as support? Because Gamesboard need another support. Rubik out, Visage out, Shadow Shaman, Abaddon all out. I think
Vengeful
just
Spirit was available.
anyone with range, really. That's
Yeah.
all they need.
Yeah, Vengeful Spirit would be really nice. Actually, I'd like a Jakiro here. Jakiro nice and tanky as a beginning support with his level 1 tankies being up there with the highest of supports up there. I'd actually like a Treant Protector also. I think that he's not played as much as he should be sometimes, and I feel like a Treant Protector would be nice.
Oh,
This is going to be a fun game
Okay.
already. We go from Meepo 1 week to Slardar Witch Doctor.
how could we top this? I don't know. Okay, but what I was gonna say is that I would agree. Jakiro would have been amazing just because against so many melee heroes, they're bound to clump up. Like it's impossible not to clump up. Witch Doctor is. I mean, that's my reasoning for Jakiro. You have Witch Doctor, kind of the same thing. You'll hit them with the Maledict, and I think if he does go for Maledict, which I hope he does, then it's just going to be so much value. You could
10
hit,
seconds
if it is the new patch, then Maledict is just a little bit bigger, I think.
5
Hit a couple
seconds
heroes with
remaining.
that, and then they're done. Like, they're absolutely no chance of winning at that point.
Reserve time.
Yeah, especially when you also throw in the fact that you have the Invoker able to go and disrupt the team fights as a whole, and Witch Doctor. If you have the Witch Doctor Crystal Maiden getting off their ultimates, you are dead. Your team is simply dead. There's too much damage there, and Bag of Chips have 3 things to be able to stop it, really. Alchemist stun, Nyx Assassin stun, and Slardar, and a Tinker! This is amazing. I
Bag
love
of
Tinker.
chips. They're so greedy right now. Could you get any more greedy with your lineup? I don't think you can.
Yeah, it's, wow. Like, the amount of farm potential that they have right now is ridiculous. The only way you can get more greedy is if they put Tinker Ancient farming as the Radiant and have Nyx Assassin middle. Like, that's the only way.
God, that never works.
I
But people
love it.
still want to do it.
People still want to do it because it's still amazing. That's the reasoning, man. You gotta get with the times.
I would disagree because I've never seen it work ever. Not once. They always get crushed and then they're useless. But Tinker is the last pick, going to give them a lot of counter push, so hopefully going to withstand against the Forge Spirits, Nature's Call. You know, not huge amount of pushing, not all in pushing, but March of the Machines will help them against that. Combine that with the Acid Spray as well. They should be able to hold out against that. But still, Tinker versus Invoker. I think Invoker should have a slight edge, especially once he gets to level 3, 4.
Yeah, it should be pretty difficult for Tinker, really. The only way that's going to go bad for Invoker is if he decides to go for, instead of picking up a early level of Quas, so going like Exort Quas, then Invoke, and then Quas, he could sort of get bullied out of the lane, or if there's ganks, but same is true for both heroes. Like, Tinker, if he gets ganked, is going to get destroyed by Invoker, but if Invoker gets ganked with some help from Tinker, you know, it could end pretty badly for Invoker as well.
Alright, I'm just going to throw this out there. If ever you go for a Wex Invoker, I
30
think this might be
seconds.
the game. If you could tap the entire team, if you hit an EMP on 3 of them, they're screwed. They do nothing. They're all strength heroes with low mana pool, or they're all heroes with low mana pool, and with the exception of Tinker, who still doesn't have the most glorious of mana pools.
Yeah, I think that if you're going to go for one, it's going to be this game, and I don't know how I feel about it. I feel like you still need to go for the Exort Invoker because you just need to have the damage to deal with the pure tankiness on the side of the Radiant here. You just need it because Slardar is
The
extremely
battle
tanky,
begins.
Alchemist is extremely tanky, and Bristleback is extremely tanky, and then, you know, Tinker is going to be running around and doing Tinker things that you just need to have a high damage lineup here to deal with it, I feel.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. I'm just saying that if
If
you
there's
want
going to be
to,
one, yes,
if
we'll
you
do
want to
this.
use the new patch, if you want to be Wex, they're probably not going to get a better game than this. But it looks like it is going to be a tri-lane from the Gamesboard side. We have Sasu on the Weaver, being supported by Wezir on the Witch Doctor, as well as Blacks on the CM. Mid lane for the Gamesboard side is going to be the Invoker, and Gassior is going to be on the Nature's Prophet top side.
His name is obviously greater than period less than. I mean, come on, man.
Okay.
With the names. But if we look over on the side of the rain, we're going to be seeing Slardar being played by Shredder, Tinker being played by Jenkins, Nyx Assassin being played by Tabo, who actually has a haste rune, trying to go in on the same spot from the top lane. Stun comes out from the Alchemist, Bristleback using his Quill Sprays. This is going to be a very dead Nature's Prophet. Will they give the lashes to the Bristleback? They will in fact give the lashes to Bristleback. So that's a first blood, and finishing up the lineup here, Alchemist being played by Nusham, and finally ending it all up, we have Fiction on the Bristleback.
I'd just like to point out that in order to get that kill, they all clumped up into like an easy, nice, tight Maledict AoE.
Yeah.
So that's what happens when you pick up this many melee heroes. You're going to clump up. There is actually no way around it. If you don't clump up, you don't do damage. So Wezer, I sure hope we see some value Witch Doctor play with the Maledict. Really, if you just, I would say maybe even, no, okay, get the cast, get the Maledict, screw Voodoo Restoration.
I feel like the biggest thing also is that when you add the Maledict on top of just Invoker's skill set with a Deafening Blast into a good old Chaos Meatball, you can just deal so much damage when you add that all together. That the fact that they just went for these melee heroes, I feel like, especially because Invoker was their second pickup, is a terrible misplay from a terrible misdraft from Chipbag here.
Yeah, you get the exact same thing with the Invoker as I was saying with the Witch Doctor and Jakiro. They clump up, you hit them with big AoE with fire and death, and then they can't do anything about it. They may not die because they're real tanky, but if there's a Maledict on top of that, they're definitely going to die. And even if there's not a Maledict onto that, you drop your payload, bring them all to easily kill range, and then Weaver could clean up. You have Crystal Maiden, nukes, Nature's Prophet, Ultimate, all this other stuff. So Invoker's going to be doing work, and I don't really know how I feel about this CBP lineup so far.
Yeah, you can see though in the middle lane, Tinker is currently my last hit screen was off. There we go. Tinker is able to zone out the Invoker here a little bit, but Invoker currently only up to his level 4, so this is going to be the point where he's going to start to be able to deal with the Tinker a little bit better. We just see this right now. They rotated the everybody down from the top lane and rotated it down to the bottom lane here with Alchemist and Nyx Assassin here to support this Slardar.
Yeah, I think that's something that needs to be done, because Bristleback is more than capable of handling himself versus the Nature's Prophet. Having too many heroes up there is overkill, and you're wasting hero potential, but keeping him down here, of course you're a lot more vulnerable to the likes of Crystal Nova as well as the Paralyzing Cask, whereas ordinarily Shredder would be, he would take the Nova, but Paralyzing Cask would hit him once, max, I think. Yeah. Now you actually give him a chance to get stunned multiple times, and you still can't kill Sasu, so it's the right move, but still it's not the end-all. And now Sun's being channeled, going to land onto Wezer. Bug's going to fly, but Wezer is going to get impaled. Sunstrike can hit. Split between two, though. Wezer's going to die. Nova onto a whole bunch of them. Nusham can take quite a bit of damage. Sasu, does he have another Shikuchi? He does. Looks like it won't even matter. He finds the kill regardless. It's a 1-for-1 trade.
Yeah, 1-for-1 trade. Support for support. Who's the one that grabbed that one? It was the Alchemist that killed him, so really better for... Oh, actually, never mind. Sasu beats the Shikuchi away, and will be able to be perfectly fine popping the salve on himself as well. But that's a support kill on a support for a carry kill on a support. So worth it for Gamesboard. They're able to get the kill. And it just shows the fact that the melee, they just don't have... They had to run all the way from here, all the way over here, and the entire time just taking damage.
Yeah, and that was as good as it was going to get, too. I mean, Witch Doctor kind of out on his own, and he is going for Maledict, so hooray. If you could turn around and get a Maledict next time, then it's going to be a lot more damage. We have Blacks coming around again, but Nusham charging up his stun. Blacks will dodge it. No, that was a really long throw with the stun. Ass is going to be laid down, but there's really no follow-up to this.
Yeah, Alchemist taking over for the Super Bowl, guys. Going to end up be playing for the Broncos with that type of an arm. I mean, come on.
Throw it! Kaboom. Black's, though, going to get stunned. The concoction is going to get thrown, but actually, no. Missile's going to fly. Black's still alive for some reason. He's going to run through the march, though. I don't think he's going to actually live through this. Sasu going to try to kill off Shredder, but he gets hit with the crush. Sasu, can he kill off Shredder? Shredder graciously pops off the sprint. Give him enough damage to get the kill, but it's 2-for-1. Jenkins coming in with a haste rune, and unfortunately, the Witch Doctor stun not bouncing.
Yeah, there's almost any hero in the middle lane you don't want to give an early double kill to. It is the Tinker, because if he starts to snowball, your lanes are dead. It's as simple as that. If he gets up a very early boost of travel and a soul ring and things like that, then you can't stop him. It's just too difficult. Which is, I think, that what Chipbag is really relying on here as a whole, because they need their Tinker to get really big in order for the rest of their heroes to get big and just carry the game through.
it is going to be hard to deal with the Tinker, like it always is, especially if he gets a fast boost of travel, but you have the Invoker, you have Nature's Prophet. It's not going to be too terrible, because, you know, essentially Nature's Prophet and Tinker, they kind of act in the same way, doing that constant split push, constant presence kind of role. So, you know, Tinker, this particular game, he'll always be difficult to deal with, since he is stacking Ancients as well, and he'll be able to clear them out with now the Soul Ring he picks up. But Gamesboard, as far as their lineup, they do have all the correct tools in order to deal with this, especially if they catch Jenkins right here, though. I don't think they can kill him with just these two heroes. Maybe if a Sunstrike lands, level 3 Sunstrike, pretty good.
Yeah. Well, he is relatively squishy, but they will spot him out. Crystal Nova goes out, doesn't even hit him, and they're just going to be like, oh, well, heroes are trying to gank. He is still moving pretty far forward here, and Soul Ring goes down.
Wizard's gonna
flies, and this is going to be a dead Tinker.
Yeah.
This is a laser off there, but not much you can really say for that. Just Tinker getting caught out, they just got forward past him, they're catching him out, and causes his inevitable death.
That was, I would say, definitely Tinker forgetting that there was a Nature's Prophet on the other end. Like, playing games with two supports like that, and then suddenly there's another hero there in Nature's Prophet, suddenly there's another half hero there in Sunstrike, and then at that point it's 3.5 versus 1, you're not going to get out of there alive. And Jenkins is going to return. We have smoke up now from Nusham as well as Tabo, looking to go to the top lane where Gassior is still. He's been farming relatively well, is keeping relatively even with Bristleback. I think Bristleback is definitely capable of killing off Nature's Prophet. They're going to go for the mid lane.
Going on the Invoker. We also have the Acid Spray that comes down. They're going to be trying to kill him, and Pale flies as well, but look at the amount of damage that Alchemist takes. Will die. Laser comes through from the Tinker. Going to be able to kill off the Crystal Maiden. There goes the Sunstrike. Not going to hit on Jenkins. Jenkins will be fine, but never mind. Nature's Prophet using the ultimate. And so there we go. 2 down the side of Chipbag, 1 down the side of Gamesboard.
Invoker getting a pretty damn good goal out there. In the meantime, bottom lane Shredder gonna get a crush onto Sasu, still dealing with some of those bugs, but the Shikuchi, he's gonna get stunned one more time, time lapse all that damage back. He's still on the chase. Here comes Wezer with the cask throw, perfectly setting up for a Shikuchi fly through. And that's gonna be another dead Slardar. Sasu once again picking up that kill.
Yeah, not good when your carry like that is getting completely destroyed, especially when Slardar is one of those carries that needs to get early farm. If he falls behind, he's not a hero that can fight from behind and sort of just come back in the game. Like you see other heroes like Gyrocop and Luna, for example, the 2 best examples for those. He just isn't one of those types of carries, and right now he's having too difficult with a early game here, having 2 deaths and 3 assists and only 17 last hits.
And that's up against a hero that, if he does get a firm hold in this game, the Weaver, you will not be able to kill him, especially with the lineup that CBP have now, until possibly until Tinker gets a sheep stick. But then, like, Weaver's going to be impossible to kill, and he's killing the person that you need to get farm. It's just a lose-lose-lose situation. They do still have this giant ancient stack, which Jenkins looks like he's about ready to start taking. That might give him the travels. I think it'll be close.
It'll be close, not quite, but it will be close. Tinker's just so great at ancient farming. But, it is good to use it supplementally when you are in the middle lane like that. He does have max. Yeah, he did max March for that sort of a build, which is really important to be able to get those PPs up.
But he's completely spotted out, and here comes the Prophet. Sprout, he's stuck between, oh, there we go, trees and Sunstrike? No, what's happening? Invoker's having a 1v3 over there, so Jenkins gonna get brought down pretty low regardless. He will survive. Looks like Invoker will turn around and kill the Alchemist, actually. There's the Maledict, onto 2, Factor Fiction Tabo, both gonna get hit very hard by this. Impale's gonna fly onto Blacks, will kill him off in the end, although very slowly. Blacks gonna get a kill on the Assassin. Kaboom goes the Sunstrike, there you go. Wezer getting chased down by Factor Fiction, and it looks like he's going to get brought down as well. Invoker 1v1, can he win this? The sprays are stacking up very high, and there's the amplified damage, a triple kill for Bristleback.
The amount of synergy that you actually have with this team is pretty ridiculous when you add in the fact that you have Slardar with his amplified damage, and then Bristleback being the king of I'm going to deal physical damage to everyone around me. Like, the amount of damage that was done to the Invoker in that short period of time, the moment that the amplified damage was popped onto him, was pretty ridiculous.
Yeah, the Bristleback, the Alchemist, and the Slardar, all 3 of them are actually pure physical damage. There's not a lick of magical damage from them. So, Gamesboard, you guys got to get yourself some armor, because you're definitely going to need it.
Yeah, it's going to be very, very difficult to be able to deal with just the amount of physical damage. And Alchemist popping his concoction. Looks like they might try and go for Witch Doctor here, does get the stun off on him, as well as the Frostbite onto the Tinker right now. Tinker trying to do what he can, and Nature's Prophet is also there right now. Alchemist going to keep on trying to go after the Witch Doctor gets the cask off on him. It's going to be what most likely get the kill. Alchemist going to keep on trying to go towards him, but not going to be able to get him. Never mind, here comes the concoction going to be coming out. Tinker does fall on the sidelines for the Crystal Maiden, though, with the help of Nation's Prophet. And now Slardar showing up. You do have the sprint on him. Try and move into the middle lane here. Bristleback showing up. Amplified damage goes out onto the Invoker. And looks as though Crystal Maiden is going to be the target here. 4 staffs away up onto the high ground. No way to follow through with that. Never mind, Bristleback decides, yes, there is. And Sunstrike as well as Cold Snap is ready for the Invoker. And 2 caught inside the trees of Nature's Prophet. Not going to be able to get any more kills there.
All in all, that wasn't too terrible for Gamesboard. They do lose their Witch Doctor, but it's a Witch Doctor. He's a support. It's kind of his job. And he's going for the Maledict build, so I'm very, very happy about that. But unfortunately, like, he's just getting rushed down. And if you don't have your cask, there's actually no way for you to defend yourself there. I think Invoker, what he's got to be really watching out for is opportunities to use Ice Wall. Like, Ice Wall is a great spell, but in this particular game, it just gets so much more value just because everyone's melee. They're going to have to walk through it to hit you, and they won't be able to.
Yeah, if you properly place the Ice Wall in the fight, it's going to be disastrous for them. If you get a proper EMP Tornado off when he gets the Flex up very later in the game, it'll be disastrous. But for right now, he is going for the Exort Cross. Now actually trying to go on a back. Pass going on him as well as the Malefice, but will it be able to bring him down? Doesn't look like it really. He's just way too tanky. Never mind. Meatball comes through, but he will be able to.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Malefice though is dealing a lot of damage to him. Tinker though is there just to keep him from moving forward at all.
And all the while this is happening, Sasu still on this bottom lane, has now well, he has 1900 gold. This guy's pretty loaded. I think he's just gonna go for the Lincoln Sphere right off the bat, save himself from, I guess, the Sheep Stick later on. But although there's a lot of stuff that will pop the Lincoln Sphere that he doesn't actually want to have blocked, like the goo or something like that.
Yeah, but you also have skills like the amplified damage from the
That's true.
Slardar is available. You have things like the Alchemist stun directly onto him is really great. But let's see, actually,
Jenkins gonna get jumped one more time. 3 heroes once again will bring down this hero. Sprout, Sunstrike gonna miss. Glacior though in a lot of trouble. Melee. Oh my God, the melee. Plus 100 damage. Yeah. That's a lot of damage.
Way too much damage onto any target for them to be able to survive.
So,
that's going to be a big issue for them, especially because Bristleback's also going for the mech.
yeah, Bristleback is going to be a huge problem moving forward. You can't really afford to ignore him when he's doing that much physical damage, and you can't afford to kill him when he has a Vanguard and is going for mech. Maledict is probably going to be the best tool that they have against him, just because it, scales well with the amount of damage you can do. Sunstrike as well, but they're going to get the Maledict on Fact of Fiction. He's taking a lot of damage. There's Sunstrike. He needs Sunstrike like right now, but he has a 4-staff. Probably a higher priority. Another Cool Spray will kill him off. Not going to be in time though. Glazior is going to come in, but that's probably not where he wants to be. Fact of Fiction will go down. Tabo is going to take heavy right clicks on his way out. Frostbitten up as well. Here comes the Slardar. 1v3. I don't know if you want to do this. Cold Snap from the Invoker. No, it's not Cold Snap. It will be. No, he did get Cold Snap. Ice Wall is invoked as well. Shredder popping his magic stick will survive. And Jenkins is going to be the last one out. Forge Spirit's going to usher him out. Is there a Sunstrike from Invoker? Goes to Sunstrike.
None of us are going to be able to.
He's going to invoke it.
Guess it's wrong though.
That would have been close if he just ran straight, I think.
Yeah, it would have been close, but that's one of the big things. Is the longer it takes, the more randomized it is. And whenever you have an Invoker that has Poison Exort up and you're trying to run with that little health, you're going to try the oddest, most ridiculous types of paths you can take, just in order to avoid it, basically.
In the meantime, Weaver still doing his own thing. He's picked up his ultimate orb, has also destroyed the bottom tier 1 tower. So the rest of his team holding strong 4v5, whereas CBP, they're fighting 5v5, and they're not getting the edge. So they're going to have to deal with this Weaver eventually. Though still, the Bristleback is getting quite big quite quickly. Nature's Prophet is actually on the top as far as the gold mid chart is concerned. Jenkins is going to get jumped once again. He's not going to be able to bring down anyone in exchange. He's once again further and further away from his Boots of Travel. Doesn't have an Ancient stack to clear. This Tinker is going to be pretty useless moving forward, except for Laser.
Yeah. If you get Boots of Travel past the 10-minute mark on Tinker, or past like the 11-12-minute mark on Tinker, really, it starts to fall off so quickly that you aren't able to get the farm you need to get, and heroes just start to get farmed in comparison to you, and you start to become more and more useless.
Yeah, and it doesn't look like they're the GB side going to give the Tinker any space to get that. He needs to get some Ancient stacks up, but one is just going to respawn right now. If he doesn't get like a couple of kills or something, and then he's not going to have any space. He can't go to the bottom lane. That's not going to work against the Weaver. You can't out farm as a Tinker versus a Weaver. I guess you could just do March and hopefully you get kills in the creep in the mid lane without getting killed, but that's pretty hopeful, I think. And now Black's is going to get completely surrounded, actually. He doesn't know it yet.
Try to go in on this here. This is the way you have Slardar and Nyx Assassin farming up the enemy jungle. But Crystal Maiden, yeah, she'll be perfectly fine. Black's gets to just walk away, completely oblivious of what just happened there.
Sasu's going to do more Weaver things. 3 heroes moving up to the top lane. Can they kill off this Weaver? He is not that tanky, although 1000 HP with an ultimate orb and strength treads. He's going to get amplified, and they need just Tabo to not even hit with the Vendetta. They just need him to impale so that all the other stuns can land, but that's not going to happen either. Factor Fiction's holding down the fort in the mid lane, whereas Nature's Prophet doing Nature's Prophet things in the bottom lane. Jenkins still 400 gold away from his Boost Travel now. Factor Fiction gonna get snapped up. Nature's Prophet ultimately gonna do a lot of damage. They actually get the kill on the Weaver in the top side. Factor Fiction gonna get maledicted. Death Ward as well. Goodbye, Bristleback. No chance to survive that. 1-for-1 trade in the end. Teleportation coming in, but I think everyone from Gamesboard gonna be backing off.
Well, we might see quarterback Alchemist not gonna be able to get anybody with that one. Nope. Doesn't quite have the arm.
Yeah, I don't know how Weaver died. I guess it was just what I said, just impale out of invisibility, but yeah, Weaver does die for the first time though. He doesn't really lose that much. He's only 300 gold away from his Lincoln Sphere.
Yeah, he's looking very, very good. This is going to be like, probably about a 17.5-minute Lincoln Sphere once he finally respawns and gets a little bit of gold and has it sent to him. So that'll be really nice for him to be able to have that up that quickly, as well as having the power cards up for himself.
Tower is under attack.
Not just a real true straight rush. Now,
Taking a look. Yeah, go ahead.
Nature's Prophet just pushing the bottom lane. Just going to keep on trying to keep the lanes as pushed as possible, just so that they can try and keep Chipbag from moving into their jungle to try and make their farm as efficient as possible, because they know that they can simply just starve them out. Not all of their heroes will get farmed, and if not all their heroes are farmed, then some of their heroes are going to be useless in fights. So, for example, Tinker.
Taking a look at the gold per minute, EXP per minute, not surprisingly, Gamesboard is ahead, but with the amount of late game that the Bag of Chips squad has, is the question that has to be asked, are they ahead enough? Because the Bag of Chips, they have 5 heroes that scale, I guess, without the exception of Assassin, may not scale as much. Factor Fiction, once again, might be in a little trouble. Maledict, plus the Meteor, plus the Death Ward. That's a low cooldown spell. He's going to mech up, but there's still so much damage. I think the Maledict just kills him from right now. Invoker, though, might have things turned around. He's going to Force Staff out. Stun will land. Tabo is there. Though we're going to think better of it. They kill off the Bristleback, who I think at this point is a little bit too overconfident in how tanky he is.
Yeah. Just a little bit too overconfident. Gonna have some issues with that, because that's one of the biggest things with Bristleback, is that you feel very, very tanky until that one item gets up on the enemy team, until that one skill point gets put in, and then suddenly it completely changes around and they have enough damage to take you down, and there's no way to really tell that until you die from it.
And that's like the second, third time he died from being a little bit overconfident. Meantime, top lane, that's being pushed, and I don't think CBP could actually deal with that. They need a Tinker to deal with that, who now does have Boots of Travels, to be fair. But again, 18 minutes Boots of Travels is incredibly slow. They needed him they needed those travels quite a long time ago. He's going to be able to hold any future pushing, relatively decently, but still, he's not going to be as powerful, not as big of an influence as you normally would expect from a Tinker.
Yeah. Now, Bristleback is actually trying to go and chase out Gassior here, but not going to be able to catch him, especially because the fact that Gassior does in fact have his TP available. And actually, Radiant's Courier gets killed, and there goes now the TP away from Nature's Prophet. And the ultimate from Witch Doctor going to be cancelled out. That's a lot of damage coming out. Medallion on Alchemist, ridiculous item when it comes to being able to just effectively get damage with support. But Slaughter on the bottom lane, using his armlet to try and toggle as much as possible to survive, but will... still surviving for quite a long period of time here. There goes the stun. Wow, these armlet dogs are keeping him alive for a long time.
Sasu doesn't have a time-lapse either. If he goes into those trees, he might just be dead. Nature's Prophet has to send in treants, and Shredder going to go 1v1 with Sasu, and I don't think this is a fight that Sasu could take. He doesn't want to... Oh, nope, there you go. Armlet toggling fails him at the last second. Jenkins will escape there alive. And it looks like Slardar is going to... this is going to die at the end, though, buying a lot of time, wasting a lot of time for the Gamesboard heroes. Tinker lives as well, so not too terrible.
That's one of the big things about the armlet change, is that everybody thinks that it's basically completely disabled armlet toggling, but if you know what you're doing and you're able to do it well, you can still use it almost as effectively. It's just those little tiny instances like that where you don't get the instant health bonus that can really start to screw you over. But at the same time up top, Witch Doctor, this is not a good place for you to be right now at all.
Well, he has Gassior, but Tabo right from the back Factor Fiction does have the Maledict on him, but it looks like it's not really going to count for anything. Gazior, can he TP away? It's a lot of physical. He's going to live.
Yeah, he will live perfectly fine. They just didn't have any stuns for him right then. And actually, Slardar moving in on the Crystal Maiden right now. There goes the Amplified Damage. Going to keep on trying to move. And
they need a cold snap. They need a cold snap. There you go. Shredder is snapped up, but he's not taking that much damage despite the sprint. He does still have the armlet, which he hasn't even activated. So, greater than, less, period, less than. Going to bail out that Crystal Maiden this time. But, yeah, between the Amplified Damage, Goo, the Medallion, and the maxed out Acid Spray, it's a lot of minus armor. The chip side could easily kill Roshan in, like, 30 seconds max,
yeah.
like 20 seconds maybe.
Yeah, they could pretty easily do that. Weaver does have up his Lincoln Sphere as well as another 2,000 gold and now. And there we go, Lincoln Sphere being popped, so Goo just so effective being able to take that out. But at the same time, Weaver does get that inherent tank ability, a little bit of damage from it, and even just that one pop means just one less thing on you. Oh, Gaster in the bottom lane right now. Tinker trying to keep up with him, but Alchemist not going to be able to make the throw there. On the day of the Super Bowl, you keep missing all of them, Alchemist.
Tabo, oh, Black's messing up the Frostbite just a little bit. Didn't expect to see that. But he's going to find Shredder instead. There's the Cask, there's the Maledict Shredder. You can arm the toggle all you want, but once you have the Maledict on you, I don't think you could actually toggle out of that. Then, meantime, mid lane, Tabo going to get a rock dropped on his head in the Sprout with the Cold Snap as well. He will be invisible, so he will be fine. Get a hunt down Gazior, but I don't know if he's going to be able to get that. Jenkins, in the meantime, on his way out from the Invoker. Nature's Prophet will pick off the Tinker. I think that was the ultimate. Tabo still alive. Thinking about the Invoker, though, he doesn't have that much mana. If he has another hero in the Bristleback, he might be able to get this, but Tabo in a little bit of a vulnerable position. Invoker in a little bit more of a vulnerable position. He needs Ghost Walk, though. Force Staff to the low ground, maybe. He'll make it, and the Quills, the last set of Quills, doesn't hit him.
Yep. Well, actually, Weaver now showing up, and this is going to be a very, very deadly assassin. And I'm wondering what this Weaver's going to go for as we see him just trying to chase out this Bristleback. I'm wondering if he's going to go for the Desolator or if he's going to go for the BKB. Most likely Desolator, though, with the Mithril Hammer picked up.
Yeah, BKB is... It's going to save you from the Tinker, but there's just so much physical stuff that it's actually not going to buy you that much effective HP. So I would say Desolator. They just needed some way of, I think, making the Death Ward do more damage is a thing that could also happen. You just gotta bring them down, bring whoever has Maledict on them down quickly, and when you want to do that, you buy Desolator.
Yeah, well, with the recent Sheepstick pickup for the Invoker, you can look at the gold graph. You have over 10,000 gold lead, approaching actually about the 12,000 mark for gold lead for Gamesboard. In terms of experience, you have over 7,500 experience lead, with now Nature's Prophet finishing up at level 3 Necro book for himself. So they really want to just try and push this down. They want to try and push this and get as many kills on towers as possible, and just keep on moving before we have that Bristleback, Alchemist combination, everything like that, just hit its stride and start to turn the game around.
Yeah, judging by how well they've been doing so far, they effectively extended the utility of their comp right now. But Factor Fiction gonna get cast up, and there's the Maledict as well. Death Ward, play some dubstep because I think Factor Fiction is going to drop.
Yep. They need to make that so that Witch Doctor, if you can enable it, starts to play some dubstep. I would buy that pack.
Yeah.
I would buy that item set.
Sponsored by Skrillex.
Oh my God, Skrillex set.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
That would be
interesting.
So many people would be like, "Oh my God, Valve's selling out," but then they would buy it.
Valve doesn't need to sell out for anything.
That's true.
Gosh.
Here we go. Slardar gonna jump right in. Force Staff not helping out Gazior in the least. Slardar's gonna beat him down. Invoker also not gonna be too lucky. No Ghost Walk. I don't even think the Ghost Walk would have helped him. Yusham's gonna stun himself, but that's not too big of a deal. Top lane, tower's still gonna drop. No, it's actually gonna be saved for now. Though Sasu, you can't kill this guy. Nick Sasson's the only one who can do that. Black's though. Black's is RIP in peace. Oh, he has a Ghost Scepter.
The Ghost Scepter, but
not enough.
Assassin grabbed the last hit there. Ghost Scepter, actually a really, really great item against the
Dire's structures are
Sasu
fortified.
gonna go toe-to-toe with Factor Fiction. He's not gonna win that fight. He doesn't have enough damage just yet. If he had the Desolator, maybe. Here comes the Cask, Maledict as well. There's no follow-up. He's gonna time-lapse all the way back to actually do nothing except for burn the cooldown of time-lapse. But he has Desolator flying out now. He might be able to win against Bristleback in a duel, though Bristleback is really, really freaking tanky. Plate Mail, Mech, Vanguard. You need several heroes to bring him down.
Yeah, I don't think that Weaver's going to be able to kill him solo. He just doesn't have enough damage. Bristleback also has too much damage. Because Bristleback is ridiculously tanky. The Vanguard, a mech, late mail, power threats. There's no way that we can take it down. But there's another hero there that can help disrupt Bristleback. Yeah.
Stun being thrown out, Invoker taking that one to the face. Fact or Fiction. Throw out some goo as well. Mighty greedy of this Nature's Prophet to try to take down Roshan right under the nose of the Radiant team, but Invoker might be pinched in here. Tabo is there with the Vendetta already active, has an Impale ready, and going to think about it. No, Invoker is going to be safe. Everyone's going to be safe. Roshan's going to be safe as well. So, yeah, Roshan, I think, again, the Radiant team could easily take that objective.
Yeah. Shouldn't be very difficult for them at all, and they do need to take it because, as you can see, Nature's Prophet is starting to have his eyes set on Roshan himself just to try and get it before they do, and so it is going to be a pretty big objective for them to be able to grab if they can.
They're going to smoke up and catch the Alchemist who's waiting for the rune. There's the Force Staff into a Hex, into Frostbite, a step away. No, a Blink Stomp from Shredder will save him. The Invoker can take a lot of damage, lay down the Ice Wall, but it's in the wrong positioning. The Boulder doing a lot. Back to Fiction, getting hit with the Maledict is going to drop inevitably. Sasu is doing as much damage as he can, going to backtrack a lot of that damage out, going to chase down Shredder. Can Shredder Armlet toggle this one out? So far it's been a 1 for 2. Then no, it will be a 2 for 2. Nushim on the back end does still have that haste rune. Bailed out from before. He will throw the stun onto Blacks, who's trying to go toe-to-toe with Tabo. Not really sure if you want to do that, but with Saso here, it might actually be a good decision. Yeah, Tabo can't actually escape this one. Nature's Prophet gonna come right back into this fight. It's a double kill for Sasu so far. He doesn't have that many tools to escape. He's gonna die to the march. Now Nushim gonna go toe-to-toe with Gassier, who's gonna Force Staff his way out of the Sprout, and I think he might go down. He has another Sprout. He's gonna Sprout himself, TP out. No more march, and nothing else. GG.
Yeah, Tinker's Reckless are not enough to take that out at all. The only hero on their side that has no ability to really do any damage with Reckless at all, or any physical damage, really.
Come to me.
And instantly, Gazier right back to the top lane, abusing the fact that there are 4 people dead on the other end. But yeah, that was a pretty good meteor. That was a really good channel of Death Ward from the Witch Doctor, doing a lot of AoE damage. And I think, but really the biggest part of that fight was the fact that Shredder got in there with the Blink Dagger as a surprise. Gazier now is very, very dead.
A little bit greedy from Nature's Prophet, or not just even a little bit, very, very greedy from Nature's Prophet there. And this is now going to be quite a bit of farm for the Tinker and the Slardar here. Marching Machines, 2 of them coming down, going to deal a lot of damage. And Shredder actually only has most of the farm here.
Well, I'm just going to do some audio things. You just keep talking for a couple seconds.
Sounds good for me. So we have Tinker going down to the bottom lane. You're going to try and push that one out. But at the same time, Invoker and Witch Doctor trying to go for Roshan. Roshan down to only 2,500 health, so they will be able to grab this one. It looks like no real reaction coming out from Chipbag here to try and stop this. But
only the
going to be going in on Blacks. That's a deck.
Poor guy. Back to Fiction, going to catch Wizard. He's going to get Maledicted up, but he's going to get the kill on this Witch Doctor very easily. No, there's the Hex into the Death Ward, into the Ice Wall. A lot of damage being put onto the Bristleback, but really not enough. The Maledict is not going to get that much value. And now the Invoker on his way out as well, and by that I mean in a body bag. There's the Aegis, but they'll blink forward onto Sasu. Now is the chance where they can kill this hero off. Time Lapse will save him just for now, but the Impale is there. The Dust is there as well. Sasu very, very vulnerable at this position. Shredder going to get land. Yet another stomp onto Sasu. They'll bring down the Weaver. They'll bring down the Invoker. That's 4 down. And I think, well, Roshan was already taken. That's behind the Tier 1 tower. They'll take down the Tier 1 tower easy. This Blink Dagger on Slaughter, they needed it, and they needed it bad.
Chipbags has essentially hit critical mass. They're starting to get too tanky with their heroes, and it's just starting to not matter that they have all these melee heroes. They just sort of kill everyone. The Blink Dagger up on Slaughter, it doesn't really matter that he's a melee hero in terms of initiation. You have the Alchemist with his medallion able to bring up that, bring down the armor of the enemy team. You have Bristleback just being Bristleback and running around and just close spraying everybody, goo stacking. And you have Tinker being a real guy that's trying to push out the lanes as much as possible while also being there for those team fights just for complete damage control for them.
Yeah, with the amount of physical damage they have, I think just at this point, you get a Vlad's. Someone has to get a Vlad's. Because you need as much armor on your team as possible. Like, Mech is a good way to start. Witch Doctor is almost at that item. But if you get the Vlad's, you get just so much effective HP from all your guys. And also Ghost Scepters. You got to prepare for the enemy team at this point because you're no longer going to have that early game edge. Fact or Fiction, going to get caught out with the Frostbite. There's the Cask into the Maledict and the Freezing Field and the Death Ward. That guy's really dead.
That's a lot of, oh, actually, never mind. Gaster going to be going on now by Shredder, trying to use his armor to his best effect. And there is the amplified damage on the Nature's Prophet, going to throw his ultimate as well. Sunstrike. Actually does hit somebody, and then there's the Impale hitting on to Crystal Maiden, trying to see what she can do. There goes the Impale! Oh, never mind, the,
Crush,
slam.
4-man crush. Shredder gonna get...
Slam, whatever.
Shred gonna get away just by the skin of his teeth with the armlet toggling. But yeah, huge crushes from this guy. He's gonna get yet another one on Gazier. He's not done yet, although seems like he is. Yeah, here comes Sasu. One hit, and the Germinate attack will not do it. Is there another Sunstrike? There isn't, I don't think. It's 2 kills, Gamesboard. They don't die, though. That's actually pretty impressive. You'd expect them to lose a lot. Oh, but they get a third.
Yep, there we go. Assassin. Not exactly in a very good place for you to be there when there's all those heroes, but right there, 28 to 28. Just depends on who gets the initiation on which side. It's just so difficult to really get the initiation on a ship's bag because of the fact that, well, you know, they have blink daggers. They have all this ability to be able to initiate, but if you see that Gamesboard is able to pick off somebody, it's just so difficult to be able to come back from that effectively.
It also showed how crucial it is for the Bristleback to be alive on the CBP side. They lost him right away. They took the fight anyway. They had a 2-man Impale. They had a 4-man Crush from Slardar, and they still didn't take anyone. They didn't kill anyone. So they need this Bristleback to lead the charge. If they don't have it, the fight isn't going to be going well for them. They don't have enough damage without the Bristleback.
Yeah. Well, right now, Alchemist charging up his stun. Looks like this is going to be the possible death of Blacks. Never mind. And Smoke, just to be able to keep him from doing that much. And never mind, they're going to now find the Alchemist. Alchemist, doesn't matter, you have your ultimate up with level 2. You're going to die. Dies off. Now, this is going to be the opportunity to possibly try and take a T2 tower here. Which could be very, very powerful for the team.
They took
gold, though. 7,000, I'd say, and then experience actually basically dead even at this point.
Yeah, you could kill off the Alchemist, but at the end of the day, if you're not killing off the Tinker, you're not going to be able to breach the high ground, because that March of the Machines, you layer once, twice, no one is getting through there, and Gamesboard, they're not tanky enough, they have to take a team fight, or at least kill off the Tinker if they want to make anything happen. And right now, guys, you're getting 8 with an Impale. Sasu will get that one blocked, but the Nature's Prophet really going to be dead. Blacks can get stunned up as well, hexed up as well, and he's going to drop very quickly.
Just the amount of damage they can do with that amplified damage is just completely ridiculous, but that's what happens when you have this sort of a lineup on the side of Chipbag that's just able to start to snowball once they get up a couple of key items. So what is he trying to build towards? Nothing just yet. He just doesn't have any money, that's what it is. And, oh, there's an AC for Bristleback. Things just got a little more difficult.
A lot more difficult. Usually you say, oh, it's an AC. You get the minus armor, you get the plus armor. It's a generally good item. But the minus armor in this game is just value on value on value, just because everyone on your team uses that physical. Alchemist bought back for that last one. He actually didn't participate at all, so he just decided to throw a whole bunch of gold down the drain. But it doesn't matter. They're going to take a tier 2 tower on the mid lane. And in the meantime, Sasu trying to split push, but against Tinker, you can't do that. You need a Nature's Prophet to come in with the Hex, but unfortunately he has Book, which it's a pretty good item, and don't get me wrong, but it's not going to help you lock down that Tinker. It's not going to help you when the enemy team is just going to bypass your front line and just come crashing into you.
Yeah, not going to help at all for that. Now, BKB up for Slardar, like was just brought up, and so, you know, all around not looking too great really for Gamesboard. And experience, reaching about 2,500 for Chipbag, but gold still very far not in their favor.
Yeah, and Invoker actually going to go for a Necrobook as well. Like, I'm all for Necrobooks, but do you really want to build Necrobooks in this particular situation? I don't think that's the right choice.
I feel like it is a decent choice because of the fact that Bristleback's going to be going around and just quill spraying willy-nilly. And if you're able to sit there and get off your Necrobooks to level 3, Bristleback will just start to kill himself when he kills off those Necrobook units. And that's always a funny thing to have. And it's a pretty decent, I guess you could say, soft counter for Bristleback.
Yeah, I mean, they will have that, but at the same time, I think something like a Blade Mail might be a little bit better. Sasu gonna get jumped on, blown up in an instant. Does he have buyback? He should. He does not. He's 100 gold short. Tabo gonna get Maledict up, but a huge Impale will keep him safe. He will die, actually, in the end. Black's gonna drop his ultimate along with the Witch Doctor's ultimate, but there's no one around to actually get hit by that. No, Nusham actually gonna run right into it and get hit by that Shredder. Gonna try to interrupt that channel. He's gonna pop the BKB, and now Gamesboard, they just have to run. There's nothing to do about, well, I guess they could sprout him out. That's something. Shredder gonna burn the rest of his BKB charge on trying to escape. He actually turned this one around. If Blacks and Weather get a little bit too overconfident, they just die, but everyone else should be fine. It's 2 for 2, but Weaver, he needs something. If he gets Blink crushed, he's dead. He just got annihilated.
Yeah. the Weaver just completely got destroyed. And that's the thing, that a lot of Weaver's tankiness comes from the fact that he's very elusive, and that if he's able to get even a split second, he can get his time-lapse off. But if you have what happened just there, where he dies in the matter of a tenth of a second, the tankiness from that doesn't matter at all. So the big, I guess you could say, hope, quote-unquote, for the side of Gamesboard is that you saw the amount of damage that was suddenly able to be done by the Witch Doctor and the Crystal Maiden there with their ultimates being popped, and with the Maledict as well, and, you know, they're able to do a lot there. So, that is where their big hope is going to be coming from, is that little bit.
And that's a very ambitious hope as well, because that doing of that damage is, you need the stuns to be used on someone else. And the stuns were all used on the Weaver, so Witch Doctor and CM were clear for their ult channels. But if they get stunned, then they're sad, and then they're dead. So it's a very, very delicate situation that Gamesboard have found themselves in right now. They're definitely playing from behind at this point. Even if the gold doesn't indicate that quite yet, the tempo certainly does. Tabo getting his shit upon by the Weaver, though he's just going to be fine to walk out of there. Or is he?
Oh, I don't think Weaver's going to really be able to go in on this at all.
Yeah,
his team is behind him now.
Double damage Slardar, probably not what they want to get into right now.
Yeah.
But they're going to go into it anyway. Maybe?
Yep. This is not going to be very fun. Oh, first thing we're going to be seeing them trying to go on Shredder. The Sheep just goes up on him. Never mind, Alchemist is going to be the target. Malefice comes down, or Maledict, and that's going to be a very dead Nyx Assassin about half a second. Crystal Maiden
the ultimates.
Ultimates is able to shred through the heroes. And now Time-Lapse and Weaver are going to be able to come back, and that's going to be a dead Tinkerer now. Oh, Weaver gets hit by the concoction of the Alchemist. Will they be able to actually find this bristleback? Looks like they will. There goes the trees coming down. Weaver with the Desolator as well as everything else.
But the quills.
But look at the amount of damage that he's taking. He's taking no damage at all. And he's going to be able to get away perfectly fine.
They didn't take that couple of seconds to get to the front of the bristleback. I think Sasu should have definitely tried to invest in that. But yeah, in that fight, Gamesboard, they got the CM ultimate off. That is level 3 Freezing Field, by the way. Still level 2 in the Death Ward. It absolutely wrecked the CBP side, but also CBP, they were without their Bristleback for the vast majority of that fight. Like, only at the end Bristleback had any damage output at all, and oh, he's not done yet. He's going to go right in and get Hex up immediately. There's the Maledict, and Fact of Fiction might actually just go down here. Mech, keep everyone up. Fact of Fiction is dead right now. Sasu can change his focus to Nusham, the only hero on the Radiant side still alive. What? Roshan? Probably a higher priority. Can use the acid from the Alchemist to try to take down this Roshan quickly, but I don't think he's going to be punished from this.
We were talking about Vlad before, and it's now up on the Alchemist, so that's a huge item we would have in Aegis. Inside the trees, Weaver, there we go. Fix it up.
Yeah, unfortunately the Vlad's on the wrong side. The Gamesport side need that armor so badly right now.
Yeah, well, I guess that it is a good item to have on the side of Chip Bag.
Oh yeah,
really.
Of course.
Amazing item, really, but, you know, still not great that Gamesport does not have one yet in terms of their armor, because no real heroes on their side are natural AC carriers, like the Bristleback is, or even like Slardar is, so they're going to have some difficulty trying to pick up that item at all, especially when they just don't have the farm for it either.
Oh, Gazior finds Jenkins on the top side, trying to teleport away. He might just get hexed. Jenkins going to get sprouted mid-Force Staff, so he's going to bust right through those trees. Sunstrike is going to go nowhere, and there actually might run into Tabo. Oh, he's vendetted up. He could actually just go for Blacks right now. He has Yule's Scepter, he has Ghost Scepter. Let's see how fast Blacks is. Not fast enough to dodge that, but Tabo's going to escape regardless.
Yep. He'll be able to get out of here. It's pretty difficult to kill an Assassin when he's able to hit the spiked Carapace, when he's able to just Vendetta away, because Vendetta has that 0 fade time as in Invis, which is just ridiculously amazing if you're trying to escape from something.
Yeah, but then there's a gem on the Invoker, level 3 Necro Book, so it's possible. They just need to get the Hex off so that even if they do get hit with the Carapace, the Nyx Assassin isn't going anywhere. You have time to lock him down, and Nyx Assassin gonna get stunned. Sunstrike is gonna fly as well, but a huge crush from Shredder, gonna catch absolutely everyone. Witch Doctor's dead, Blacks is on the run, no time for your ultimate this time, CM. The Aegis has been popped, and Weaver, I don't know if he can escape from this, has time-lapse still. He's not taking that much damage. Blacks, though, going to actually Yules himself unnecessarily. Sasu gonna pop the Manta Style, try to do as much damage as he can, but another 2-man stun from Shredder, doing so much work, will kill off the Weaver. The Invoker is going to get chased down by the Bristleback. I think Hex or no Hex. Oh, he's actually going to teleport away. Stun, not there. But Shredder, once again, with the hugest plays ever.
Yeah, huge play. We were talking about how we were thinking Gamesboard was going to be able to really capitalize off the stacking on the side of Chipbag, but it's really the opposite way around. Gamesboard is really starting to clump up a ton when they're trying to kill off these melee heroes, and it just lets Shredder blink right in and get off the crush.
Yeah, and if Wezer gets too close, he's going to die before he can contribute anything. But Shredder's been getting... That was the second 4-man crush, and then another 2-man crush.
Yeah.
Blink Dagger on Slardar, it's a great item, and Gamesboard, they don't have any response to that. They have no ways of initiating the fights themselves aside from, 4-staff Hex. But if the enemy team is running at you, like, full speed right down the mid lane, you can't really get that much done. Back to Fiction, and then another 2-man crush, by the way. Instantly going to go to town, following up with a 2-man Impale. Wezer's going to channel his ultimate almost to the full duration, but is it going to matter? I think the answer has got to be no. Wezer's going to go down. It's a full wipe with the exception of Crystal Maiden who just respawned, but I don't think Crystal Maiden has what it takes. This is going to be Rax's at the very least.
Rax at the very least, and looks like Alchemist is going to keep on trying to look at Crystal Maiden, but not going to be able to get there quite quickly enough. And Crystal Maiden, that's not where you want to be at all. Just the Yule Scepter on her, and this issue should be perfectly fine. But now they're going to go and look for the bottom T3 tower here, and no, not where you want to be, Crystal Maiden.
She gets to live. She gets to live. Nature's Prophet going to jump in, look for the Hex onto... He messed up. He hexed the creep.
Creep, Hex, best Hex.
That creep isn't teleporting anywhere anytime soon. Tabo has a free kill right here if he wants it, though. I think he's going to think better of it. He's going to play it safe, teleport out. They take the Raxes, put a lot of hurt, or not that much hurt actually, on the bottom tier 3 tower. Gamesboard, they are still in this game, but it's not looking too good for them. They missed their window of opportunity. At this point, 40 minutes in, with that many heroes that scale into the late game, there is not much they can do. The Weaver can only do so much for you.
Yeah, we have over 2,000 gold lead now going the way of Chipbag, and then we have over 10,000 experience lead. This that's went from 10,000 for Gamesboard to a 10,000 for Chipbag. So they really are starting to come back really quickly.
And you can't even say that that was a throw, because Gamesboard, they were trying to push. You could see by looking at their items, they want to push, they want to end this game fast, or they wanted to at least. But the Bristleback just got way too big at the wrong time, and then at that point they just couldn't do anything. They were forced to not go full offensive. They couldn't punish the really greedy picks from the bag of chips side, and then they now find themselves in a situation where they are way far behind and not looking good at all. They have 2 sheep sticks, which ordinarily you would say, oh, that's what you need, sheep sticks. It's not doing much.
The thing is that they have some lockdown with those sheep sticks. They have the Invoker that can do that, but even with the Maledict, even with the Meatball, everything like that, it's just not enough. And looks like we're going to be seeing Gaster get caught out here as the Impale, everything else. Just that's a dead Nature's Prophet. And this might be their opportunity to try and push it again. He's down for 95 seconds. There goes the sheep stick onto Weezer now. A lot of damage. Will it be enough to kill him off here, though? Yeah.
Everyone and their mom has a 4-staff.
Yeah. And throw the Alchemist Concoction will hit on the Crystal Maiden. That's going to be a dead Invoker. Next one will be Crystal Maiden to see the Slithering Crush come through for the Slaughter again. And the GT gets called by the Doctor. So that's the end of this game. Final thoughts? What do you think?
CBP, so greed, but not punished enough. The Tinker pick, he didn't get his Boots of Travels up, but they weren't being pushed enough. Like, he got his Boots of Travels fast enough so that they could survive the pushing from the Forged Spirits and the Treants. And, the Tinker just being that super defensive hero saying, you can't push. We're going to let our Bristleback get a lot of farm, which he did. We're going to let our Slaughter get a lot of farm, which he got enough to be, enough, especially when you get 4-man crushes, it's more than enough. And unfortunately for Gamesboard, they just didn't have enough come late game.
Yep. So that's the end of the first game, everybody. We're going to go into the second game here between these two teams in the finals. Thank you very much.
And thanks a lot to our sponsors, esportsbets.com. So I don't think anyone had any money riding on this one, but if you did, maybe you want to reconsider, because VCP just pulled it out very, very convincingly versus the Gamesboard side.
Yep. Okay, we'll see y'all in just a little bit.